David saw it. He knew what he was made for. He met his Maker through the finished work of Jesus Christ. He knew God. And he lived to make him known. David vanOrman left a legacy on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. The Bible tells us, Jesus told the first disciples, "Follow me and I will make you to become fishers of men." When David vanOrman chose to follow King Jesus, a process and a promise began to play out. He became the kind of person through whom God would draw others to himself. And I'm standing here today because of David vanOrman, because of a conversation I had with him in 2003, late into the night, about ministry and churches and making disciples, and a phone call that came about a year later when he asked me to come out and help him plant a church here in the cornfields. Just a few weeks ago, I sat with Cole and Bill and Nathan and others in Demir Coney's home in Albania, in Valachi. And we were weeping together as we knew that David's physical body was failing quickly. And yet it was a precious time as Demir, through tears, which is a small miracle for an Albanian man, shared how David's love built a bridge that was strong enough to bear the weight of the truth of the gospel in his life. And as David and Sarah's faithfulness and obedience through planter's seed led Ada and Anselmo, his children, to the Lord, Ada and Anselmo led Demir to the Lord. And Demir was saying, it's now my turn to pass on this legacy to others. That's success. That's the metric that God uses for the well done, good and faithful servant, which David has heard. 11:45 Sunday morning. Well done. Enter into your rest. And we are here to celebrate a life lived well, and the one who empowered and flowed through and overflowed through David vanOrman. Jesus Christ himself, the one who's conquered sin, death, and the grave, that allows us to grieve this morning, but not like those who have no hope. And so I want to read the obituary, which is a beautiful overview of his life. And you'll hear tributes from family members and friends. And even right now, there is a church in Albania at 10 o'clock in Valachi, Albania, gathered together. Just a few moments ago, I saw Sarah greet them through Facebook Live. They're watching this celebration because many of them are in the kingdom because of this man and what God did through him. We're going to hear from one Albanian man that was greatly impacted as David discipled him. We're going to hear from God's word in Psalm 16 and the promises and the hope that we have of a future resurrection. And I trust that you will leave here challenged and encouraged and more in love with Jesus, which is what happened when you hung around David. David Mark vanOrman, 67 of Pekin, passed away at 11:45 a.m. Sunday, June 24th, 2018, at his home. He was formerly of Green Valley, where he was a farmer of 46 years in the Manitou and Green Valley area. Born October 27th, 1950, in Peoria to Forrest and Alvern vanOrman, he married Sarah Whiteford on August 21st, 1971, in Manitou. She survives. Also surviving are his father and stepmother, Forrest and Marilyn vanOrman of Pekin. 3 daughters, Seidel married to Nathan Wagner of Valachi, Albania, Jenny married to Seth Shaw of Bridgewater Corners, Vermont, and Hannah vanOrman of Pekin. 4 grandchildren, Elisona and David Rennie Wagner, and Tua and Pippa Shaw. 1 brother, Rick vanOrman of Forest City, and 6 nieces and 6 nephews. He was preceded in death by his mother, Alvern, in 1995. David was a 1968 graduate of Foreman High School and a 1972 graduate of the University of Illinois. In January 1993, David visited the Eastern European country of Albania on an agricultural mission trip. Shortly thereafter, David returned to Albania on a regular basis along with his wife, Sarah, and eventually established Planter's Seed Foundation, an organization dedicated now for more than 20 years to sharing the good news of Jesus Christ in rural villages in Albania. David's engaging mannerisms endeared him to everyone he met. The lives of those around him were enriched by his candor and humility. He carried a spirit of genuine interest in the passions of others. His zest for farming closely paralleled his love for people, and he spent his life investing in both with the knowledge that the yield would be eternal. Amen. Amen. Let's stand together and sing.